and Bray forces Luke out of the family, and he stays with Randy. That, I think, is the more interesting appeal until Eric comes back.
Oh, okay. I could see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
That could work, but I think that would also probably set up the predictable, and that being Randy Orton turns on Bray,
Right.
which I'd much rather see, just them, just getting rid of Randy Orton altogether, because I think that with all the history that Bray and Luke have had, it's going to be kind of hard to maybe see that, but I'll believe it when I see it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities for that. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Wyatt family. Probably come right after Royal Rumble. So we move into a backstage promo with Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. It's announced next week that we get the first ever SmackDown Women's Championship Steel Cage match. Sorry. I love me a steel cage match. And I think these two can pull out one hell of a match. Especially in a steel cage.
Well, in all honesty, it'll probably go a lot longer than the last Ronda Rousey bout. Yes, I went there.
Oh, but I like Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, but she needs to kind of get off her high horse a little bit, because
just a little bit. I think the hype train with Ronda's over.
Yeah, but I know that AJ was not really fond of the idea, but honestly, I'm for the idea. I think that it's been probably, geez Louise, I think I said it was about, I think maybe like 14 years, probably since the last steel cage match to ever feature women, and I'm not counting Hell in the Cell. I'm actually saying, that steel cage matchup featuring two women, and that was like Lita and Victoria. So that's, jeez, you count almost like 15 years. That's
a long time.
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So very quickly, I just want to gloss over this match and pretend it didn't happen. Carmella versus some jobber.
I thought, jeez Louise, I thought that when this woman's attire, I thought to myself, did she just go into the closet of the late great Mae Young or Fabulous Moolah? Jeez Louise.
Have you ever seen Orange is the New Black?
I saw the first episode, but I haven't gotten further than that.
Okay, so do you remember Red, the chef?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly who this person looked like. And I thought, holy shit!
She actually does.
It's just, I'll put them side by side on Twitter. It was amazing. It was like, oh, what? I didn't know she was a wrestler.
And it was
the main event of the evening: John Cena versus Baron Corbin. And just when you thought Baron Corbin was starting to pick up steam, an AA, and he's done. One AA.
The thing is, the ending was very sudden and not in the good kind of way. I just did not like that finish at all. I would have thought that Baron Corbin would have at least countered it, but it was like the first attempt, and boom, Baron Corbin was done. I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah. And the thing was that AJ talked about it, was that this matchup was reaching that final minute marker, so I guess they were just running low on time, but you could have at least given it like 2 or 3 more minutes and given it at least something. I didn't even see an end of days attempt by Baron Corbin. That upset me. I was about to say, dude, really? I really want to see the end of days on John Cena. That'd be amazing.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's just when Cena comes back, we lose a lot of star power because Cena always has to win. I don't know. I like John Cena, but this match, the ending really upset me because Baron Corbin had all this momentum, and I thought he'd be poised for some sort of championship challenge somewhere. And to me, it just feels diminished. It just feels dulled to me. But yeah. So that was it for SmackDown. Overall, over a couple grievances, I thought it was a good show. SmackDown is really SmackDown is shining right now over Raw, and I think we've said it many times on this show before. It's really showcasing that you can do a lot more in 2 hours than you could do spread out in 3.
Yeah, but in the same sense, I did. For those of you that don't know, the Who Wore It Better by our good friend Brian Zane over at Wrestling with Regret, he kind of compared the two shows, and he actually gave Raw the victory. And I honestly had to agree because I thought that a lot of the story, like I said, stories were getting more developed. The Cruiserweight division was being put on a lot better than what it was. I thought the title change with Jericho picking up the title was awesome. Braun still looked amazing. It was still kind of cool to see The Undertaker and Shawn, even though, let's face it, they both really didn't do too much of anything, except for Shawn hitting a sweet chin music on Rusev, which was fucking amazing. Right. And then Undertaker announcing that he was in the Rumble. And then, oh boy, howdy, Mick Foley going back to his commissioner look. That's, Max, I know he's your favorite wrestler, but damn. Yeah. That honestly just was just like, wow. Yeah. Mick Foley's at the point where I'm just thinking, does he even care anymore about anything, or is he just?
It's interesting because somebody tweeted out, I can't remember who it was, about just complaining about Mick Foley as a general manager, and he responded. He's like, "Well, that job may be up for grabs very soon," and I'm thinking to myself, wrestling's fake, right? Do you think there's going to be a change in general manager in Raw?
Again. Don't say that word again, otherwise I will choke you out. Because wrestling is not fake, it is predetermined. I like that phrase better because, let me see here. How about you tell so many of the wrestlers that have, landed on their heads and they've gotten concussions and they've gotten, neck injuries. Tell them that it's fake.
Right.
Tell somebody who's had their knuckles broken that it's fake. Yeah. I dare you to tell them. I dare you also, for your benefit, Spencer, look up the interview of Fit Finlay being told, wrestling is fake, and you will have a different perspective on that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, then you should know that, never to say that again. So, right. But yeah. But I think that they are definitely going to be, looking for somebody else, because I know that Foley's probably going to have to go out for some, I think, hip surgery or something like that. But what was very interesting was that I was listening to the Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle show, and they were mentioning the idea of having Noel Foley get involved, and maybe they set up a matchup between Noel and Stephanie McMahon down the line. And I thought, well, I think as long as Noel, has the rights, I think has the right moveset and, is well trained, that would actually be a pretty damn good matchup. In all honesty,
I think it would.
I would love to see that, and it would be quite a way for her to debut. So
yeah, I agree.
Possible dream match. Yeah,
definitely. Overall, SmackDown I thought was a great show. Me personally, I thought SmackDown was better than Raw. But overall, I think both shows were okay. I think SmackDown kind of pulled out the edge for me. But recently, I've been enjoying programming. I have. Raw, we bitch and moan on the show about Raw, but overall, I think people complain about the brand split, but I think the brand split, it's in its early stages, but I think it's going to be just fine. So we are going to take a quick break. We are going to come back, and then we are going to discuss the WWE United Kingdom tournament coming up this weekend. I'm really excited for that. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, and we are going to discuss that. That's next here on the Squared Circle.
What is going on, guys? This is the Loose Cannon, Nate the Effing Great, here to tell you known as AJsBelts.com. Why are they so great, you ask? Well, let me tell you, they have every single championship belt that you can imagine, from classic championships to modernized championships. Hell, even they do MMA championships. They have great deals on championship belts, and I know what you're thinking. What if you can't afford them right now? No problem. They have a great layaway program. as well as if you go through PayPal credit, you can get your championship belts right away. A&J's Belts, the proud sponsors of the Squared Circle Podcast.
Hey there, friends and listeners of the Squared Circle Podcast. Are you looking for some new threads, maybe some new hats, or any other form of apparel? Do yourself a favor and head over to ProWrestlingCrate.com. Are you familiar with Loot Crate, those wonderful little boxes where you can get all sorts of nerdy goodies? Think the same thing, but infinitely better, because wrestling. All kinds of shirts, little toys, you name it. All available at ProWrestlingCrate.com. Exclusive friends of the Squared Circle Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Spencer Hart from the Squared Circle Podcast. Wanted to let you know about some amazing news. You can listen to the Squared Circle Podcast right now on the new Satchel podcast player for both Android and iPhones. Here's the deal. While you're listening to us on Satchel, you can quickly and easily send us a few dollars to make our show even better. So if you're listening to us on Satchel right now, go ahead, click that donate button and send us some much appreciated donations. And if you're not listening to us on Satchel, I mean, come on, what are you doing? Download the podcast player right now at satchelplayer.com. Exclusive friends of the Squared Circle Podcast. Welcome back to the Squared Circle Podcast on Spreaker.com, iTunesPlayer.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, Castbox.fm, the Satchel Player for your iPhone and Androids, IWNerd.com, and on WrestleWorld.uk. And speaking of the UK, we are going to make some early predictions here for the United Kingdom tournament coming up this weekend. I personally think, first of all, the belt, oh my God, I could look at that belt all day and just, I'm jealous. I really am.
Well, the thing about it is that it does look like, a regular WWE world title, but it's like modernized into like the UK culture and the UK brand. And I thought to myself, okay, I am totally okay with that. At least it's not like another WWE world title ripoff where they just randomly put, the UK flag in the background or on the strap or on the side belts. At least they did something different with it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, I'm taking a look at the bracket now. Unfortunately, I don't know some of these names, and I feel like I should. But the ones that stand out to me, Danny Burch, of course, we've seen him in NXT. Joseph Connors, former WCPW champion. James Drake, I believe, was at WCPW as well. I'm trying to think of the other ones that we've seen at WCPW.
I think Pete Dunne, was in there.
Yes, Pete Dunne, I believe, was there as well. And I think the last one was the one from Scotland, Wolfgang. I think that was it.
Probably.
So we've seen a few of these people on WCPW, What Culture Pro Wrestling.
Mark Andrews is from TNA, but I wouldn't expect you to know that because you're an idiot.
Of course not. Who watches TNA? Okay, in my defense, I did sit through Total Nonstop Deletion. I pushed myself to sit through 2 hours of that. It was okay, but TNA.
Admit it, you loved it. Shut up.
It was okay. The theatrics during the tag team Apocalypto match, though, I kind of enjoyed that. That was pretty fun. I will admit that I enjoyed the tag team Apocalypto match.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to proudly announce that this is the Zach Hagenbusher part of the Squared Circle Podcast. Please welcome Spencer Hart.
Hello. Yeah. But standing out to me in this tournament, honestly, I really enjoy Joseph Connors. I hope he does well. I love all the work Joseph Connors did in WCPW. And I really hope that lets, head brass, I hope they let him shine. I really do. He's my pick. I'm a little biased, but he is my pick to win this thing. He's just a great worker. His moveset's awesome. He really knows how to sell moves, injuries. He's an all-around great worker. So Joseph Connors is my pick for the United States tournament. Or United Kingdom tournament. I really hope he goes far in this tournament.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm back on the show, and that's just to see you botch everything. So I will agree that I do see Joseph Connors winning it, but I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to predict that he's going to meet Jordan Devlin in the finals. And the reason why I say that is because